What's up, every pony? We is back. Me, Weird Alicorn, along with.
Dizo37
That's right. We are the
back for round two.
we are the homie bronies who are going to give you what you want. More reading, reading every day,
All day, every day.
and maybe some nights. I don't know. Depends.
Depends on where you live.
Yeah. Um. So last time we left off, uh, we were talking about Rarity, or Nimbus was talking to Rarity, and she mentioned how Andrew Ryan is batshit crazy. So hopefully that maybe plays out in this chapter. I don't
Um,
know. Diz, spoilers? Spoilers?
is it a spoiler if I say I'm not going to say anything?
No,
Because
that's
it's kind of implying that there is something
okay, okay.
that I'm not saying anything about.
But anyway, this chapter is called A False True Friend. Oh, I see what you did there. You,
You see what I
you,
did there.
you. That actually happens to be like one of my favorite songs from the.
Oh, true friend.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I love that song. Um,
Yeah, one of my favorites.
All right, so why don't we just get right on with it? This is gonna do the dialogue. I'm gonna do the narration. Here we go. Um,
Wait, does the quote count?
I don't know. I guess I should do the quote. I guess if it's a quote and not actual dialogue. I'm so sorry. I didn't want this to happen to you, Lady Rarity. Huh. Okay.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
As you surely know, I make the finest dresses in Rapture.
Rarity said as Nimbus quietly exited her shop.
But some of these dresses take certain materials, ones that I just can't get my hooves on. Would you be a dear and search around for some diamonds? Diamonds?
Girl's best friend, Nimbus. Nimbus repeated in disbelief.
Yes, diamonds. Don't tell me you haven't seen a diamond before.
Yeah, I have, but where am I going to find one?
Well,
Rarity began, pausing to think herself.
Think. Oh, great. I need to put in a two there. Think to herself.
Yep.
if I'm correct, Big Daddies should have diamonds on their drill tips.
I don't you. Excuse me. I don't suppose you know any that would lend me his drill?
Unfortunately not. I do know a place that you might be able to find some weapons powerful enough to bring on down, though. A good friend of mine, Firebrand, owns a gun store in the plaza across from mine. Normally I'd just let you go out the back door of my boutique, but a particularly brutish splicer dumped a large pile of rubble in the hallway leading out, and I don't think you could get through.
Is there a way around?
Not one that would get you there anytime soon, but it's the only way. Head back through Artemis Central and go around the south side of Celestia Square.
Video game obstacles, man.
Try saying that 5 times fast.
Jeez. Nimbus grumbled at the thought of having to creep and sneak all around Rapture. There was a big, there was a dead Big Daddy back at Spuckle Simplicity, but who knows what else could be down there. He couldn't take a Big Daddy on, especially not with a bunch of splicers at his throat.
Hold on. I think there is a way to move that rubble. You're going to have to trick a Big Daddy into smashing it aside somehow. There's a plasmid called hypnotize here, and also one called decoy. Either one would, either one will work. But you're another typo there. By should be but. But you're going to need more Atom to get it. So come on into the boutique. I'll lend you some.
I do remember Hypnotize being a plasmid. I do remember that one.
Yes.
But I don't remember Decoy for some reason. I don't know why.
Decoy was in both of the first and the second.
Okay. I probably just slipped my mind.
Never
Shaking.
used it.
What was that?
Never used it.
Yeah, that's
I never
probably
used
why.
it.
Yeah. Shaking his head, Nimbus re-entered the boutique. He saw no sign of any pony there.
Where is it?
Tell me,
Just a moment.
she said, and then a soft click came from behind Nimbus.
Check the pneumo tube.
Duh.
I'm so glad you were here to say that because I probably wouldn't have known how to say that. Turning around, Nimbus saw what looked like a trash can with its lid sealed shut, and the word pneumo printed along the rim. When he unsealed the lid, he found a jar containing a strange yellow liquid in the container with markings that measure how much liquid was in it. It must be Adam. There must be 120 units of the stuff.
I can trust you to use that, right?
Of course. Why?
Because I expect you to repay me after we're through here.
Sure.
Now that he had the atom, he needed to find the gatherer's garden. Scanning the room, he noticed the familiar pink glow near the signs for the restrooms. The machine was exactly the same as the one in Artemis Central, but it had no gift waiting for him below. Instead, there was a dial and a small glass window that had portraits of the products it sold. He turned the dial, searching for what he wanted. He could really go for a Coke right now, I think. He could use either decoy or hypnotize, and with Rarity's extra atom, he could easily afford hypnotize. Placing the container Rarity had given him onto the slot, he confirmed his selection. The needle shot down from the inside slot, draining the atom from its container. When it was empty, the machine buzzed, indicating that it only had 120 units, and it required 160. Ugh, no. That's just like in Mario, man. You only have 120 stars. You need 160 or something.
Come back when you're a little bit, richer.
Level up first, noob. Nimbus remembered what Twilight had said about using the atom that he had got from the little sister, and replaced the empty container with his left foreleg, and confirmed his selection again. The needle came down into him, draining and extracting the atom from his blood before cleaning and returning it to his system, and then retracting. A moment later it came down again, this time injecting him with the plasmid purchased. It made a dinging noise, much like a microwave oven, an easy bake oven, or a wind-up timer, and the needle retracted once more. Nimbus removed his hoof from the machine and felt his body overcoming with pain again. Looking at his hooves, he saw what seemed to be a green tomato forming beneath his fur, and it fell to the floor and exploded in a splash of green mist. He coughed to expel the mist from his lungs and suddenly got the urge to help himself. Was that how the plasmid was supposed to work? If so, he had just used it on himself, meaning that he was now his own ally. Wasn't he his own ally before? Oh, the confusion! Oh my gosh, I can't even. Okay, whatever the case, Nimbus took up his radio and reported back to Rarity.
I got the plasmid. What now?
Oh, good. Now you're going to want to find the Big Daddy. I saw a lone one walking around outside, and he didn't have a little sister with him, so he should be easy to get the jump on.
All right. So I just hit him with this tomato thing, right?
Right. The polyp should make him follow you, and he should obey most of your commands.
A sly smile grew on Nimbus's face.
If I told him to kill himself, would he obey?
Lelouch V. Britannia commands you all to die.
Probably not. The polyp is designed to make the target your friend, not your slave.
Nimbus looked out into the plaza and indeed see a metal-clad stallion, the Big Daddy, I guess. This one, however, looked different. His helmet wasn't as rounded as the first one he had seen. It was more of a head-fitting helmet and sported a smaller visor. Also, this Big Daddy wielded a large tube-like weapon of sorts, with a hose connecting to one of its oxygen tanks on its back. It was held in a single hoof as the Big Daddy cantered about idly. He approached slowly, as not to gather unwanted attention, and readied the green polyp in his hoof. With a solid swing of his foreleg, the polyp went soaring, quickly clearing the large space between him and the Big Daddy. For a moment he thought it didn't work, for the Big Daddy became very still. Then he turned around. The normally yellow light in his visor glowing green. Green was good.
It worked. Now tell me where the rubble is.
Just head to the back of my shop. Take the hallway behind the reception decks, and it should lead to the back door.
The door in question was easy enough to get through, but Nimbus's Big Daddy companion was too bulky to fit through. The stallion backed up and tried to squeeze through the gap. His front hooves made it, but he got stuck while trying to fit the bulkiest part of his middle through. The Big Daddy growled in frustration.
Oh, come on, here, push with your back hooves.
Nimbus said, grabbing the Big Daddy's front hooves as the Big Daddy complied with his advice. Nimbus pulled with all of his strength and heard a cracking in the door frame. The Big Daddy slowly inched forward and caused the sides of the doorway to push out, crushing the concrete with a loud crack. The Big Daddy slid through, apparently happy to be free.
What was that?
Rarity asked, worriedly. Ugh.
It's nothing. Big Daddy was just having some trouble.
What? That brute didn't destroy anything in my shop, did he?
Just like ruined half of it, I think. Nimbus looked at the already ruined interior of the shop.
No?
It's like a Big Daddy in a china shop.
Yes, Big Daddy in a china shop.
Big Daddy in a carousel boutique. That's the new brony phrase right there. Either way, we have a break in the text, and outside the shop, a small alleyway led to a high perched sign that read, Firebrand, firearms. On the ground, though, a large pile of rubble was blocking the path, and a large piece of the building could be seen missing from the building's top floor. Through the hole, a large unicorn stallion, one with hulking muscles, appeared.
Hey, that Big Daddy's got a little friend that wants to get in here.
He called out to some pony behind him.
These are our guns. Get 'em, boys.
Using his brute strength, the stallion broke off a piece of the wall out. Yeah. Okay. The stallion broke a piece of the wall out, and using his magic, he flung it down at the two below. Big Daddy jumped in front of Nimbus and swatted it aside, sending debris and dust everywhere. The brute walked away, and several splicers appeared in his place, wielding assorted guns.
Big Daddy, I need you to move this rubble,
Nimbus said as gunfire rained down upon them. They both took a cover behind the pile. Okay, that's me. Okay, Big Daddy nodded his head and held out his weapon, motioning for Nimbus to take it.
You want me to hold this for you?
Nimbus asked. The Big Daddy nodded. Nimbus took the gun and watched his companion proceed to steady himself on his front hooves and kick out against the rubble with his back ones. The pile began to scatter and he bucked again. Nimbus raised the heavy weapon, still connected to the Big Daddy's oxygen tank, and did his best to aim it at the splicers below, or above, rather. He wrapped his hoof around what he thought was the trigger. Wait, how does that even work? I still don't get it.
It's the same way they can hold shovels.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If you remember in the Winter Wrap-Up episode, one pony was just holding a shovel with her hoof, and it was just like...
Totally stealing that idea from my
Just
fic.
screw logic. My hooves are magnets. That's the explanation.
Yeah, they have magnets in their hooves.
Magnets.
Their horseshoes are magnets. Wait, they kind of look like magnets, don't they? He wrapped his hoof around what he thought was the trigger and was knocked back by the blast from the gun. It spat out a round that nicked one of the splicers above in the shoulder, but knocked Nimbus to the ground. Surprised by his sudden failure, the splicers on the top floor stopped their attack and burst out in hysterical laughter. With a final buck, the Big Daddy smashed a pile of rubble aside and ran to Nimbus's side. Stop failing! As he helped him up, he also took up his own weapon with one hoof and nailed each of the three splicers, doing their howls of laughter. Before the others could resume their attack, they too suffered the same fate. Big Daddy is such a boss, man. The duo entered the back door of Firebrand Firearms and hoping that the owner was still home.
Rarity? We're in. But Firebrand seems to have a splicer problem.
Yes, the poor D has been harassed by them ever since he opened up. But I'm sure he knew it. But I'm sure he knew it was coming. He owns a gun store, after all.
I'll bet. What am I looking for?
Nimbus asked, looking about the racks and display cases that had all been looted. Broken glass and dead bodies littered the floor.
The place has been cleaned out.
Keep looking. There has to be something in there.
As he turned the corner to the front room, he considered giving up. He didn't even, search that hard. He was like, I just might as well go back.
There's nothing in there.
Just give up here, stop the adventure. There didn't seem to be anything in the shop. Then he remembered that there were multiple floors. He found the stairs to take to the next floor. There were 3 stories, and the second one was the storage floor. Still, as Nimbus and his Big Daddy friend walked through the halls, They found what they had. They found that they had all been picked clean. Okay. One. I don't know if you know the anime Full Metal Alchemist.
I am familiar with it. I'm not really into anime as much as some people are, but
Okay,
I'm
but
yeah.
just the image of Nimbus and the Big
Yeah,
Daddy together.
that's the idea that I had in my head.
Really?
It
That's
was
awesome.
yeah, uh Al and
Alan, Edward.
Edward.
Okay. As they approached the next set of stairs, Nimbus turned to the Big Daddy.
Stay on this floor. Make sure that no one comes up behind me.
The Big Daddy nodded his compliance, and Nimbus ascended once more. The third floor was Firebrand's living quarters. There was a kitchen, a bedroom, a living room, and even a den, but none of them had anything useful. Nimbus spotted the hole that the brute had made in the living room and looked down onto where he had entered from. Three splicers ran down the hallway, entering the shop. Turning around to go warn the Big Daddy, he came face to face with the unicorn stallion, with muscles strong enough to break buildings. The hulk of a pony grinned, and the two of his minions stepped out from behind him, both of them with machine guns and hoof.
I told you, buddy, you ain't gonna get any of our guns.
Nimbus said nothing, but he tried to focus on forming a hold up, I forgot how to say it now. Polyp, yeah.
Polyp.
In his hoof. He then realized that in the time it would take to form and throw it, he would have been taken out by the two splicers with the guns. Spotting a bottle of fresh water on the upturned stand, he remembered his electrobolt plasmid.
Any last words, you chump?
For you, the brute sneered.
Can I just get one last drink?
Nimbus asked, nodding to the Wait, they just gotta let him drink?
Just a drink of water.
This reminds me of that scene from The Incredibles where
Yeah, that's
it really,
that's
is that really where you took it from?
yeah, that's
Oh my god.
where he was in the store and then he drank
Yeah, he's
the
like
water
freeze.
and freeze.
That's awesome. Nimbus asked, nodding to take the water bottle.
Whatever. Just don't try anything funny.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Nimbus slowly walked over to the bottle, picking it up and unscrewing the cap. He lifted his head back and took a sip. The brute was about to say something, but Nimbus suddenly jumped forward and splashed some water in his face, drenching that little bit of the mane he had and soaking his sickly orange coat.
What the hell? I've had enough of this bullshit.
Shocking, isn't it? The rest of his words came out as a stutter as his body suddenly coursed with electricity. Steam rose from his body and mouth as the water on his coat and his body began to evaporate. The two splicers next to him looked at each other in sheer shock. Wait, there's a link with shock.
Yeah, just open it in a new tab.
What is that? Oh my god! uh, Glasses have been I need sunglasses. That's what I should have said. Shocking, isn't it? And it just
Yes.
before they too were electrocuted and struck in the face with a heavy pipe. Nimbus recovered a machine gun and put a bullet into each one of the splicers' skulls with their own weapons, ending their electrified torture. He had fired a gun before, but never had he taken a life with one. The worst part was it felt so natural. As he looked at the machine gun with a long barrel and cylindrical clip, he knew this was going to be the best he could get. A roar of pain and gunfire urged Nimbus to hurry back down the stairs, where he found the Big Daddy had started to fight the three splicers from before. One splicer was set into the wall right in front of Nimbus, before his corpse was held in place by three nails that shot from the Big Daddy's gun. Oh, he has a nail gun. Awesome. No, not nails. They were rivets. It was a rivet gun. A chain gun. The weapon that he was using was a rivet gun, a tool normally used in construction. The drill was also used in construction. So that mean that Big Daddy's helped build the city? Oh yeah, I kind of remember that from the game. They're like implying that. Uh, what was? Where was I at?
Help build the city.
Yeah, okay. He couldn't think about that as a scream of a splicer being slammed headfirst into the wall rattled his thoughts. Nimbus ran up behind Big Daddy, who had the last splicer in his sights. The different somehow. Sure, his face was mangled and his mind was unstable, but something about the iron helmet that covered his head and the saddlebag he carried gave Nimbus a bad feeling. Suddenly, he reached into his saddlebag and produced a small red cylinder. There was some writing in white letters on its red body, but Nimbus couldn't make it out as it was lobbed towards them, and the splicer took off down the hallway. There was a hissing noise, and Nimbus felt himself suddenly being lifted and thrown back towards the stairs as an explosion racked the building. Awesome. Action, man. Action scenes. Nimbus opened up his eyes and saw the face of Big Daddy over him, helping him up with a hoof. He had thrown him out of the way and took the blast from...
Hold on a sec.
Sure.
I'll be right back.
Go on. So wait, we're just gonna end the part right here, guys. I'm just gonna pause. I'm just gonna end the part right here, and we will be back once Diz is back. So get ready for more of An Ocean Above Us.